Nice to meet you finally.
Hey,
Come on
thanks.
in. Come to the office. Come sit down.
All right, great, thanks.
Would you like something to drink? Something?
I'm fine, thank you. I have my
Okay.
own.
All right.
Thanks.
Well, I had some waters here, you know, in case you wanted something to drink. A little snack maybe. All right. So I'm glad that you were able to come into the office. We had a little brief conversation. This is probably going to take a little bit of time, but I think that this will be good for us to get everything out on the table so that I meet your expectations, you meet my expectations. We have a really easy process of finding your home.
Great.
Okay, great. So what I did was I prepared this book for you. And guys, this may be the first time that you're meeting them. So I put together the buyer consultation package here. And so like I told you, this is just a little binder. You can print out some stuff that you could put in it. This is just a Staples kind of little binder here. And there is marketing material like this on your e-edge and in your marketing stuff. And in here, this is a little mock where I put our sponsors, I put our vendors' information. So I have the title company stuff in here. I have Steven's letter. That's all in the buyer agency, all the buyer packets. So I put that in here. I also put our Outfront magazine in here just in case, you know, I want to give them some reading information so that they feel that they're working with a really like valuable company. My calendar I put in here because I'm going to meet her for the first time, whether she works out or not. It's just going to make her feel like I put a little money into myself. And if you don't have a calendar, go on and make yourself a trifold. Make yourself just a sheet about you, an all about me sheet, just something that says about you. These little things I got a long time ago. And these are, in case of an emergency, please notify. These are for like the kids' school bags. You can put them on the bottom of the bags, just God forbid the kid were to get hurt or something. And it just gives you the information, but it says my branding on it. They're little stickers that you could buy. Little creative stuff, a little pen, KW pen with your information on it. And then I put my business card, and then I might put some other vendors, like the oil tank information, the inspector information. Like I said, load it up here with any of the vendors that you're like working with. Also, what I put in here is, in the first section, is the buyer consultation packet. So I told you guys to all do your buyer consultation packet. This is the introductory letter for the buyer. And then the rest in here would be all questions, and I have my own group of questions here that we would be going through, but so that she can go home and talk to whoever's going to help her make this decision. Because especially if you're dealing with somebody single, there's always going to be somebody they consult with. If you're dealing with a husband and wife, there's going to be conversations that they're not going to feel comfortable to have in front of you right now. Then in this second section, what I did was I printed out a flow chart, and I will show you on the e-edge system where everything is because it's all in your buyer toolkit. So I printed out a flow chart as to how the process goes so that they feel comfortable when we talk about the contract. They'll be remembering when they go back through their stuff. Even if this person is a high-I behavior, if this is her first time buying a house, she's going to be paying attention to some details. And if she can't pay attention now, she's going to go home and force herself to pay attention to some details. When you say, oh, that's a high-I, they don't care, it's just that they lead with an I. There's always going to be some C, some S, some D in there. I don't know about some S, but there's going to be some D, some C in there. Okay, and here are going to be some questions that we're going to talk about. My 10-plus customer service agreement for a buyer. So as we get to the end of this, I'm going to ask for the commitment of the buyer agency agreement. So we're going to be going through these and talking about what I'm going to be doing, what she's going to be doing, so that we can end here with the buyer agency agreement. And I got this one from the drawer because this one has the carbon copy, so you can fill out and you can leave them with, and you can take yours. Then behind that, I gave them some paper for some notes. Well, her. Printed out a map because we did talk about some towns that she did want to see. So we printed out the map from the MLS, and I also printed out the MLS sheets that we are going to see, because we're going to go see some houses, because whether she likes them or doesn't like them, I'm going to get to know her style and what she does like about things, what she doesn't. And then in the back here, I put from the buyer packet a contract, which we'll go through when I explain the process. Okay, so this is going to be hers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do this together with her, and after I get a little comfortable, I'm going to move a little closer so that we have this, we're sitting on the same side of the table kind of feeling. I also have my own little packet here, and also on the on the Ignite toolkit, you have your buyer questionnaire, which is part of session 7. And that's what I'm going to be guiding to ask her the questions. And then on the in the back, I have the 5 must-haves. Okay, so the 5 must-haves is the thing I'm going to end with before I go into here. So, I'm going to take this out here. And one of the things I do want you to remind you of is when I'm speaking with any client, we're always going to be talking about the household and not the family. We don't know the familial status. We don't know what her intentions are, but we know that she's buying a house. And so when I talk to her, it's about her household. So anyway, so we're going to go through this, and I meet Dana, and we're sitting here. And so Dana, what I want to do is I want to get you a little bit comfortable with the process. I know I had sent this over to you maybe via email, and so I printed this out for you, and we're going to go through some questions so that I can get to know you and get to know your needs.
Okay, great.
Okay, so did you speak with our mortgage representative, Steve?
Oh, yes, I'm all done. I'm all approved.
Okay, so
Yeah.
do you have that pre-approval letter with you?
Yep, I have it with me right here.
Okay, great. And so what he did was he narrowed down the search, and so what numbers are you actually comfortable with?
I really can't exceed 450,000, but
Okay.
I'd really like to stay as close to 400 as possible.
Okay, close to 400 as possible. And we did talk about towns, and you said that ideally, where are you working?
Right now I work in Morganville.
Morganville, okay. And I'm going to take some notes if that's okay with you.
Sure, great.
Great, awesome. Okay, so you're working in Morganville, and family is close to, what's important to you about staying close to Morganville?
I want just a really easy commute.
Easy commute? Okay.
Quick commute, and I want a little suburban, quiet lifestyle, quiet neighborhood. I don't want to be bothered.
You said you lived in the city before. You're trying to stay away from that hustle and bustle?
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay. So, as far as your lifestyle, who would be living in the home with you that you purchased?
Oh, just me.
Just you. Awesome. Do you have any pets or?
Oh, no.
No. No pets.
No,
Okay.
no pets.
Great. So, will anybody else be spending more than an occasional overnight stay, like parents?
Yeah, my family, we'll visit some cousins sometimes.
Okay.
And, yeah.
So, in that case, we talked about bedrooms. 3 bedrooms is a must because you need one for your office, and so you'll need one for a
I'd
guest
really
room.
rather 4.
Okay.
Yeah, 4 is better because then I won't have to cramp and I can have, dedicated guest rooms and the office.
Okay. If we found a home that fit in the price range that had everything else that you were looking for, but it only had 3 bedrooms, would it be a possibility to take a look at?
Yeah, I would look at it as long as the price was good.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure because sometimes you have to understand in the MLS, the multiple listing service, when we search, if you put in 4 bedrooms, it will negate anything under that, and we might miss a really great home that fits all the other needs.
Okay.
So just want to keep an open mind in when I do my searches for you.
Okay.
Describing your lifestyle, what do you enjoy doing at home?
I love having parties.
So you like to entertain?
Yeah, definitely the party house. So I need, the really resort type of backyard.
Okay. And
for
you
400. Yeah.
Okay, so backyard,
In-ground pool.
in-ground
big,
pool.
Flat backyard. I would love maybe a natural border or, just a beautiful PVC, fence and.
Okay, what about, you said border fence, what about that's important to you?
I don't want anyone to be able to touch my property. So I just
Okay.
want very, private.
Privacy is big for you then. Okay. Okay, because once again, if we were to find a home in a cul-de-sac that backed to the woods and had nobody on either side of you.
That would be perfect.
Gotcha,
Find me
okay.
that.
Gotcha. Well, and sometimes when you're coming from the city, what you think of is private compared to what I've seen out here in the suburbs might be a little bit different. So I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Okay.
Does your home need to accommodate any special needs?
Special needs? No.
Okay.
No.
And we said you don't have any pets, and do you have any special needs to be accommodated, such as athletic equipment, fine art, large furniture? Do you have any kind of collection of any sort?
No, not really.
Okay.
I don't have anything special like that. Very low maintenance, but,
Okay. So when people come to your home, what do you want the home to say about you?
just clean lines, modern, big, soaring ceilings.
Okay.
Just an outstanding.
A wow
clean-
effect.
Yeah, like a conservative wow would be great.
Conservative wow. Okay. Is there anything I should know about your lifestyle that maybe I haven't asked?
No, I really want something special.
Okay.
You know, I don't want every house looks exactly the same. I just want something really
So
special.
when you say special, would you say unique is a word to describe what
Yeah,
you're looking
unique
for?
would be okay. Mhm.
Okay, so tell me about your ideal location. We discussed Morganville. If you notice in here, what I did print out for you is a map of the surrounding area that we discussed. And I was just wondering if some of these other towns might be an option. So here, as we come down, this is Route 9. And over here is the Parkway, and here's the Turnpike. So we're in a really convenient area so that you can still get to that city life once in a while when you want to go out for girls' night.
Yeah.
But here's Morganville right here, and you notice Old Bridge is this way, Manalapan, Freehold, Colts Neck, Homedale, Aberdeen. Are any of these towns okay? Are any of these towns that you don't want?
I would consider Morganville and northeast of Morganville.
North and east. Okay,
You
so
know, just I
maybe
don't want to
some-
go south, experiencing more of, you know, the parking lot of Route 9.
Okay.
I'd much rather.
So Marlboro, Old Bridge, maybe Matawan.
Yeah, I would consider. I heard they have high taxes, but
Well, and let me tell you about taxes. It's all relevant to monthly payment. So if the taxes are an extra $1,200 a month compared to a different neighborhood, then you're basically talking about an extra $100 a month in your mortgage payment. So it may affect the price point that we can purchase. So I do understand that taxes could be assumed as higher or lower, and they definitely factor in. But I don't want us to be scared about higher taxes, because if we find a product that fits in your monthly payment, then the taxes really are irrelevant. As long as you're getting, you know, in the town, you're getting the benefits that come with the taxes.
okay. Yeah, like for example, I don't need the schools, but at the same time, for future investment resale, I would like to be in an area that has strong schools. Can you tell me about the schools?
Well, what I would suggest, and you know, Central Jersey's got a great reputation for schools. What I would say is there is a website called greatschools.net, and you can go to that and start to do some research. And honestly, if you were just to Google, there's a lot of forums that people talk about the schools. I personally can't really tell you too much about the schools. I wouldn't want to put my interpretation on what's a good school and what's not a good school. May not be important to you what is.
Well, if you know the area, I would take your advice though.
Sure. I just, you know, I would have to tell you to go to the websites, because that's where you're going to get more of the accurate information.
Okay.
And quite frankly, if you ask on Facebook, I'm sure everybody and their mother will tell you how they feel about the schools, okay? So, good way to find out. Another thing is, if you drive around the schools and you drive around the neighborhoods, to get a feel for if you feel comfortable there, and you know, just see who's in the neighborhoods, and you know, the buses and stuff like that. They all do have bus transportation, so that is one good thing.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really have time to drive around the area, but
Yeah.
I'll ask.
Okay. All right, well, maybe as we see some homes, I can show you some areas.
Okay.
So you said schools really aren't that important, so right now in your life, but are there any particular view, is there a particular view that you're seeking, like any kind of waterfront or?
No.
No.
I mean, in this, we're inland. I just want something very private. I don't want my neighbor to stare me in the face in my backyard. You know, I just want very private.
Okay, well, that's important, because then that would actually take a few neighborhoods in our area are more close living. So that would just take those communities out then.
Good.
Okay. Is there anything else about the location that's important to you that I haven't asked?
No, as long as I can get to Manhattan when I need to within an hour, I'm good.
Okay. All right, great. So an hour commute to Manhattan. All right, so do you have any preference when the house was built?
Oh, I definitely want something in the last 10 years. Nothing older than that.
What about that would be important to you?
Just because I don't want big ticket items to, you know, I don't want to have to replace the furnace the year after I move in. I don't want, you know, anything that's high maintenance. I just don't have time or patience for. And plus, I want it to look sleek and modern. So I'm just guessing 10 years would probably be a good age for the house. I don't know.
Okay, well, with my experience, I would say that's about right, the 10-year mark. However, I have seen some homes where they've redone the furnace, they've redone the windows, they've redone the roof, they've made some changes to the ceilings, they've opened up, they've put the bigger master closets, they've redone bathrooms. So if we were to find something in the price point that gave you still that contemporary wow, that clean line, that open space, Would that, and it was
Sounds
built in
good.
the 80s, would you be okay to look
Yeah,
at
as
it?
long as it looked a certain way.
Okay,
Yeah.
so really, we're talking about the features that come along with a home that was built in the last 10 years that you're more attracted to than the age of the home.
Yeah, right, that's true.
Okay. Do you want a house in moving condition, or are you willing to do some work?
I would prefer move-in condition, but I also understand I might have to hire someone, and then I would need your help in who to hire to.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we have a lot of different contractors we work with.
Mhm.
Okay, great. And when people come to your home, what do you want to say about you?
Yeah, I think it should be something young and fresh, something that's impressive. That's really important to me, that it looks impressive.
Okay. Are you looking for any other structures like greenhouse, shed, detached garage, anything of that importance to you?
I'd rather the garage not be detached,
Okay.
if we could avoid that, but I
Okay.
guess a shed would be good,
Okay.
but it's not a deal breaker.
Okay. I just sold a house to an artist and she wanted it detached, that's why I asked.
Oh,
Okay, so what type of home are you looking for in style-wise? Are we looking for a ranch, a colonial, condo, a townhouse? Do you have an idea of what is acceptable to you and what?
I think I like the colonial. I've seen some Center Hall colonials. It just seems like they're more expensive, but I do like the colonial look. But if it was a sprawling ranch that was really impressive, I would consider that too.
Okay. Okay. And, you know, I don't know how many homes you've been in, but approximately what kind of square footage are you looking for?
I would definitely say 2,000 is the minimum.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. And, now you're currently living in a rental, and how many square feet is that?
It's 1,400 square feet.
Okay, so you're definitely looking to increase your
Oh, yeah.
living square footage. Okay, I understand. How many stories? Two if we're doing a colonial, but you said the ranch, sprawling ranch would be fine?
Yeah, even if it was a raised ranch,
Okay.
that'd be fine.
All right, now, property size. What size lot are you looking for?
That's not too important to me, as long as it's enough space to really have great parties and entertain. I don't really know the acreage.
Okay, so you said you really wouldn't want anybody on top of you, and just from my experience in this area, I would say a 1/4 acre, which is 100 by 200, I mean 100 by 100, probably the smallest that you would be interested in. Some of those other communities are more like 100 by 50, and that's where you can get where people are a little bit tight on you. So, you know, what we'll do with that is I'll point out what the lot sizes are.
Yeah, that's
as we go
why I
see
have
some.
you, so that's good.
And then you can tell me, don't show me anything less than a 1/4 acre, right?
Okay.
Okay, exterior siding, anything particular that you're looking for that you'd love? Stucco, stone, wood shingle?
Definitely no wood.
Okay,
Yeah, and no paneling either in houses.
no paneling.
Yeah, that makes me nervous.
What makes you nervous about that, Dina?
It just reminds me of like an old house
Okay.
that you don't know what's behind there.
Okay. What if we had the homeowner take off the paneling and there was nothing behind there, but the house was perfect? Is there something that you would maybe consider taking a look at?
Maybe.
If I promised you I previewed it?
Okay.
Okay. Okay, how about a deck, a porch, anything like that of interest to you?
I would love a Trex deck, and I don't really mind about a porch, but I would love a high-end, beautiful, big deck.
Okay. Important for those parties, right?
Yeah, I might have to add one myself, I understand that.
Okay. I'm willing to add it. Okay. And we talked about that one. Any other exterior features that are important to you? Driveway, paver patio?
No, as long as it has,
Landscaping.
I would like a driveway for
Okay.
private parking.
Okay.
Landscaping, I don't really care about, I can do that later.
Okay. All right, so now as far as the interior of the home, we talked about floor plan. What do you love about the home that you're in right now?
I love the fact that it looks very modern.
Okay.
You know, it's brick front, it's very high ceilings, and the kitchen is upgraded, you know, marble floors, things like that.
Okay. And what are some things that you would change if you could change to the place you live in now?
I would not have 3 flights of stairs. I would probably, yeah.
Okay,
I
so,
think the multi levels is
okay,
not
so
fun.
2 floors is the most. Okay. And how about the master bedroom? Tell me what the master bedroom looks like in your ideal home.
In my ideal home,
Mm-hmm.
that would be just big space, big beautiful windows, high cathedral ceilings. I would like it sunken if I could, if that's possible.
Okay.
Huge, like MTV crib, master bathroom. Like,
Bathroom,
yeah.
important.
Porcelanosa floors.
How about closet space?
I would like a drive-through closet.
Okay.
Like I might have to have it blown
Okay,
out or
drive-through
something.
closet, I like that. Haven't heard that. Rarely I see a sunken master. I've seen raised masters. It's something that we can look for.
Okay.
But drive-through closet and a huge bathroom is definitely something that we could put as a forefront for your needs.
Okay.
As far as the kitchen, what about the kitchen would you like or dislike in your kitchen?
I would love a granite center island, a lot of cabinet space.
Okay. What about that's important to you?
Well, a lot of people during a party will hang out in the kitchen.
Once again, back to that party.
Yeah,
You want to
back
be
to
able to
the party.
entertain.
Mhm.
Don't want to feel closed into your small kitchen while your friends are out in the living room.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay. As far as the dining room, is a dining room important to you? As far as a formal dining room,
No.
where it's a separate room,
It
or
could be a combo.
okay,
That's fine.
okay. And do you have a dining room table?
Yes.
What kind of size is it? Large and small?
It sits seat. I can't even talk this. 6 people can actually sit at the table.
60
Yeah,
people.
and it's
Seat
thick.
6.
It's marble.
Okay, and it's marble.
But if it doesn't work, I can get rid of it.
Okay. Okay. All right. Fireplace important?
No.
No. And living room, obviously, because of your entertaining, large living room.
Yeah, really big and accommodate big furniture.
Okay. What other rooms would you absolutely need in the home that I might not have asked you about?
I definitely want an office. So if there's a room on the first floor that could be an office, that's okay.
And what?
I don't want a basement either.
No basement.
No basement.
No basement at all. Okay. Usually homes that were built in the last 10 years do have basements.
Mm.
What about a basement turns you off?
Well, no basement, no water. I just am nervous.
I'm nervous about the water.
Mhm.
Okay. I can understand that. I can appreciate that. If there was a home though that fit all the other criteria and I were able to kind of take a look into it, there are different ways to dry lock a basement. Some of the finished basements have already been dry locked, dry sealed, and some of them have sump pumps. Some pumps would be put in the corner of the basement. If God forbid there was water, it would kick on and drain the water before it would damage. Would that be something that we could look at and talk about?
Yeah, as long as those things are possible or have been done.
Okay.
'Cause I really
Because my
don't want-
concern with it is everything else that you've explained, knowing what kind of product we have in this area, a lot of them are going to have basements.
Mhm.
And so I will definitely look for one without a basement, but I don't want to disappoint you. And I don't want to show you things,
Oh no, let's stay realistic. If
Okay.
you can do those dry locking and all that or something, because I don't want to experience bad water situations with basements.
Okay. Okay, so after all of that, what are the 5 top things your home needs to have? Must-haves.
An incredible layout, a phenomenal kitchen, definitely a huge party backyard, in-ground pool or the possibility to put one, and it's just exclusivity, privacy.
Privacy. Okay. Beyond those 5 things, what is something else you really, really want to have?
Besides size 6, I would say.
Me too, but besides size 6.
I would say just a house that something has to be special about it.
Uniqueness. Okay.
Something has to stand out.
If you could have one more thing, what would it be in that house?
One more thing in this house? Maybe some type of bonus room or conservatory, like a wine room, like a library wine lounge or something.
I like that idea. One more thing, what would be?
One more thing.
One more thing. This is a wish list. One more thing you could have in the house. What would it be?
One more thing. Maybe a steam room or a sauna
Okay.
on the property would be nice. Or in the house.
I couldn't go.
Are you gonna ask me one more thing?
No, I'm not gonna ask you one more thing. Okay, so now that we've talked all about this, I did look into some of the homes. Some of the homes may not be fitting your criteria. But what I would say is that we have these for you to go take a look at. And what I want to do is I want to show you the home buying process. So when we decide to work together, so you understand, I am completely committed to my business. I've been in business for 9 years. I'm a full-time realtor. I have a great support staff at my office. I work with over almost 200 professional agents that take their careers seriously.
200?
Yep. We have like a big family. But what's really great about that is we get to share each other's knowledge all the time. We're in classes, we have meetings, and if there's something that I haven't been through, or if I'm looking for a certain product, I can always ask my fellow agents in my office that maybe they have, and so we're a resource for each other. Plus all of their resources that they have, we kind of share. So if I'm looking for somebody that specializes in hardwood floor installation, maybe somebody else has a great connection like that. So that's one of the other benefits that in working with me, you also get the professionalism of those other 200 agents to kind of help with.
Okay.
The other thing is that I really pride myself on taking my classes and going to conferences and making sure that I'm up to date with what's going on in the market, because the market is so volatile. I'm sure you've seen all the changes that have happened in the last 6 years or so, that I think it's real important for customers to have agents that really pride themselves on that. So you're totally getting a professional when you're working with me.
Great.
I am full-time. I do protect my time in the morning because I'm constantly prospecting for new buyers, new sellers, so that I can put them together. But I'm completely available via email and in text message, and I typically talk to my clients in the afternoon, anytime after lunch.
Okay.
Also, I work until about 6, 7, so if there's time after work that you need to talk, and of course if there's any time that we need to schedule, we always can schedule a time that's off those hours.
Okay.
Saturdays and Sundays I'm also available.
Okay.
Okay, so in the home buying process, I just want to explain this to you, because when we find a home that you love, we're going to be putting an offer on it. And you already have your pre-approval here, and so that's great. So that's step 1 to make sure that you're qualified to purchase. That's called buyer power. So when we put an offer on something, a seller's going to want to know that you actually can move forward and close on their property. Understand that they're advertising on this multiple listing service, like the homes that we're going to go see, and if they're going to actually accept your offer, the minute we come out of attorney review, which we'll discuss, they have to take that off of the marketing system. And when they do, it's no longer available to any other buyers. So when they do that, they want to make sure that they're working with a qualified buyer.
Okay.
Now I have to say, we have a great reputation in this area for making sure we're working with qualified buyers. So when you get an offer from us, it also gives you a little bit more buying power because we've already qualified you. I asked you to bring your checkbook in case we found a home that we love today.
I have it.
Great, because what you'll need to do is we'll be writing some earnest money, which is first deposit money, to show them that we're serious. And it's only $1,000 typically in the first deposit, but it shows the seller, hey, I'm willing to put some money up along with my offer to say I'm serious about this offer.
Okay.
Okay, so when I take a look here, just showing you, we would write the offer. Now, I do want to show you here, this is some paperwork. If we were to find a home that was, well, actually the first things first is my consumer information statement. Do you want to open this up, and I'm going to be leaving this with you. There are 4 ways that I can choose to work with you.
Okay.
As a seller's agent, and you don't have a property to sell right now, so I'm not a seller's agent. A buyer's agent, which typically that's what we would be working together as. I'd be representing you as a buyer's agent. Disclosed dual agent, which means in the state of New Jersey, the broker owns all of the properties, so owns all of the listings. So anybody, all of those 200 agents that are working under that broker, if we were to sell something in-house, technically we're dual agents because the broker is representing both sides. Although we're sub-agents kind of to the broker, we do have to disclose ourselves as dual disclosed agents. However, in our office, this is a good thing because working with an agent in our office, smooth transaction. So, and the fourth way is a transaction broker, and I don't choose to work this way because nobody's representing anybody. You're just writing a contract, and I have no legal representation to you, and you wouldn't want to work like that.
No. So you could be either one of those two.
I can be either a buyer's agent or a disclosed deal agent, and I'll show you on my buyer agency agreement how we will work together.
Okay.
If you choose to work with me. Okay, so as far as this offer, I just do want to show you, basically, this page here is your notice to buyer and seller. Okay, I have the contract out here, guys, so I am going to go through this real quick with her because this is going to save me a lot of time when I have to go write my offer with her, and I'm going to email it to her because she's very, very busy, so it's all going to be done like this. So this first page here gives you the right to get an attorney, and if you read through here, it says who I represent. And then it says, number 7, whether you retain a lawyer is up to you, it's your decision. And I am not an attorney and I'm not going to give you legal advice.
Okay.
Okay? And so here we would just sign here and you would sign there. This page here is the first page of, well, the second page of the contract technically. And this is the page that gets changed around. This is where your offer is. So when we put an offer out to a seller, we're writing them an offer that if they were to sign, we'd be going into attorney review. It would be accepted and we would start contract.
Okay.
So in New Jersey, we do write a full contract and submit a contract rather than just like an offer to purchase.
Okay.
So here's where you would put all the information about the property and the homeowner and you and where you live and all that stuff. And right here between these lines, line 21 down to 66, is where you would see what our offer would be. So let's say we were going to put a $300,000 offer, and I'm going to write in here so that I could show you. Put $300,000 offer in. When we write this offer, you would be writing a check for $1,000 as good faith. And you do have an attorney, you said on the phone.
Yes.
Okay, and so we would be writing that check out to your attorney, Mr. Goldschweig.
Okay.
Okay, and so that $1,000 would be written out to him, and he'd be holding it in his escrow account to see if this transaction went forward.
Okay.
Once we come out of review, so once the seller were to sign this offer, we basically would go into attorney review. And I know you would typically ask me, oh, that's the 3-day, right? It could be 3 days, it could be 3 weeks. Once an attorney touches it, they regulate the time.
But they're not going to take it off the market until...
They won't take it off the market until we actually get out of attorney review. Out of attorney review means that all terms, all requests from the buyer and the seller have been agreed upon, and the contract is moving forward. And you sign off, and at that point, you have a binding contract. So until then, anybody can kill it. If you don't feel comfortable with the terms, or the seller doesn't feel comfortable, or another offer comes in, they can accept it without any explanation. You can kill it without any explanation. Okay, so it's a period where you have your time and they have their time to make sure this is something that you want to get into.
Okay.
It's almost like an engagement.
Leading up to
Okay.
the marriage and the closing?
Yep, okay, so the $1,000 goes in, and then what you do is, after we get out of review and all the terms are good to go, then you're going to be required to put a second deposit. Now, this is when it gets serious. So the second deposit is going to be due, and I typically will tell my buyers that 5 to 10% is what you should put as a down payment up front. Now, you said you would be putting 20% down, right? So my suggestion to you would be put 5 to 10% down in that second deposit, and then you could bring the rest of the money to closing. So on the $300,000 purchase, let's just say you're putting 10% up front, you would put $1,000 now when we make the offer, and then you would put another $29,000, and that would have to be in the seller's trust account 10 days after we get out of review.
That's before I do the inspection?
It's before you do the inspection. It has nothing to do with the inspection. This says that I'm moving forward with this house and I'm going to perform. You're going to have the right to inspection. You're going to have the right to ask for credits if there is anything wrong.
Oh, okay.
You have rights, but you don't have an option of whether or not to put that second deposit. If you do not put that second deposit within those 10 days, you are going to be in breach of contract, which then the seller can just kill the contract and accept another offer. And if it's a house that you love, we're not going to want to do that. So, but understand you don't have to put the second deposit, but you would be in breach of contract. So 10 days after review, you'd put the second deposit and it would go to the seller's attorney. Because now we want to make that seller feel a little more comfortable that you're moving forward with the contract. They'd be holding $30,000. You'd be getting a mortgage, and you'd be getting a mortgage if we're going to put 20% down for $240,000, which we have the approval right here. And you'd be getting it 45 days So we're here at the 21st of January, let's say February 21st, let's say by March 2nd, my birthday, we'll put my birthday.
Okay.
By March 2nd, you're gonna get a mortgage approval. So you have until then to get a mortgage approval. Then here, what's gonna happen is you put the remainder of that 30,000, that 20%, that $30,000, equaling up to your $300,000 offer. And this also is another term. You get to say when you wanna close. So I'll ask a couple questions to the listing agent as to when is ideal for them, because you said you're pretty flexible.
I'm flexible.
So we'll ask them what closing date they want to make it a little bit better. Maybe you can get a sweeter deal on the price.
Okay, great.
Okay, so let's just say they say April 15th, tax day, right?
Okay.
So now, as we negotiate, let's say the offer at 300 is not accepted, they will come back with a counter offer.
Okay.
And they might go from 350 to 340. So then the ball will be in your court, and I'll say, Dana, what do you want to do? They came back at 340. And you may go 310, you may go 320. You may say, I'm not going anymore. But we'll be able to negotiate it. And that's the other good strength that I have. Damn good negotiator.
Great.
Okay. So as we go through here, it says that you're able to close, that this is the actual selling price that's going to be disclosed on our tax records, that there's no tenants, that it is, you're going to, if you were to do a title search, because on the buyer's end, you're responsible for the title, if you were to do a title search and the seller doesn't perform, that you would actually get back actual dollars. You know, we're not going to spend money if they didn't perform, and they're not going to go ahead and close and you spent money on doing the title search.
Okay.
Building and zoning laws, it's a single family and it's going to stay as a single family. Items included and excluded, we can always put stuff in here. If you want to keep the washer dryer and it's excluded, we'll just put it right here. Final inspection means you have the right to a walkthrough.
Okay.
So before we go to close, we want to make sure the light fixtures are there, the washer and dryer were there, everything that was supposed to be fixed, and inspections is fixed.
What if it's not?
Well, then we get to close and we put up a sink.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we don't have to close if they don't want to give us a credit at closing.
Okay.
If they want to remove that refrigerator at back,
Mm-hmm.
we figure it out.
Okay.
And then again, you don't have to close if you don't want to, and you're that uncomfortable.
Okay.
Okay? So here we have no assignment. You can't just assign this over to somebody else without the seller signing off on it. All these here say that the property is the seller's until the day he closes. So if he doesn't want to fix this and fix that, well, it's his responsibility. And when it closes, if that's what it's supposed to be, then it's on his dime to fix it. Lead-based paint. Basically, if there was a property that was built before 1978, there may be lead-based paint, and if you wanted to get a different inspection, we could. Now, you said you weren't really interested in that kind of age of home, so we probably won't be looking, but if we do, we'll talk a little bit more about that then.
Okay.
You have the right to inspection, and when you do the inspection, you have to do it within 10 days as we come out of attorney review.
Okay.
And then back and forth, you have 7 days to write a letter to the seller saying, I want this fixed, I want that fixed. And I'm going to guide you through all of this. And I know
Okay, good. You have inspectors?
I have inspectors. I know this is a lot of information, but you'll remember this when it comes up. You'll be like, oh yeah, that was in that page.
Okay.
Okay. All of this here, attorney review clause, like we spoke about, once the attorneys touch it and we actually sign off on this, they'll control the time as to when we get in and out of review. And if we really love the house, we want to push our attorney to get us out of review so nobody else comes in.
Right.
If we want to go see other houses on the weekend, we might drag it out to see if there's other houses to come up. Okay, this is our commission, and you don't have to worry about that as a buyer. Typically, the seller pays the commission, and there is no upfront cost. And back here, this is where you can actually go to check out. This is the Megan's Law Registry for National Registered Sex Offenders. If you wanted just to check out, I know you said schools were important, maybe neighborhoods are important, you might want to go here and check to see who's who in the neighborhood.
Okay.
Okay, so then you would just sign here, and this would be our offer that we send over to the agent.
Seems simple enough.
Seems simple, right? So after we make an offer, you have an acceptance or you have a rejection. Once there's an acceptance, we go to inspection. We talked about inspection. Inspection will come out. It's about 2.5 hours for a single family home. We have inspected Neil. He's amazing. He's got this camera. It takes long. You'll be there because you want to make sure you ask as many questions as possible.
Okay.
It's also the time to bring your cousins, your mother, anybody who's going to have influence. That would be the time to bring them. Okay, then you're gonna have to have clear title. We order title through our title company, as long as you sign off on this and we give that to your attorney. And then we have other escrows, which is that second deposit we talked about. Also there's a HUD 1, which is the preparation for closing. Now, when we talk about closing costs as for a buyer, I do wanna just mention, you're not paying for the commissions, but there are some closing costs. Typically on the loan, you'll pay anywhere from 2 to 3% of like the loan. That's pretty much the max for closing costs to the mortgage company.
Like points?
Kind of like points.
Okay.
So if you're getting a mortgage for $300,000, you can assume your closing cost would be $9,000 or less. Okay, and then you do have to pay title, and the title is state regulated, so we can ask them what it would be. But let's just say it's about another $2,000 for title, maybe $1,500. That, and then you also have your attorney. Your attorney fee. Your attorney may cost you about $1,000. Your inspector will run you about $400. And anything that goes along with the bank you could kind of either roll into a closing cost, or we could talk to your mortgage banker about how he wants to do that. So understand that all of these closing costs, except for the inspector, could be potentially rolled into your mortgage. And so if you don't have this, now do you have this cash to come to closing with?
I could, but I've seen some buyers get their closing costs paid by the seller. Is that true?
We were seeing that a few years back, but now where we're at right now is our inventory is so low that the sellers are actually having the upper hand in the contracts and in negotiating, that we could try negotiating that in, but chances are a seller's probably not going to be willing to do that. But they would be willing to do a seller's concession.
Okay.
So instead of us purchasing the house for $300,000 that we provided here, the seller would agree that they could go to $310,000, and that extra $10,000 is being used for closing costs, and you can roll it into your mortgage.
Okay.
With the approval of the seller.
Got it.
Okay. So, and at that, then we have legal recording and then owner possession. And at owner possession, we do that final walkthrough that we were talking about, make sure everything's good, and then you would go to the closing, bring your check for closing, and then you'd be a homeowner.
Wow.
Okay. So when we go through here, my 10+ customer service agreement for buyers, I provide you with 10+ customer service during the entire buying process. I organize and schedule all of your home search process. I discuss the benefits and drawbacks on each home in relationship to your specific needs that we really talked about. Provide you with ongoing updates and available homes. I'll want to set you up on an automated drip so that you get to see all the homes, whether they have a basement or not a basement, 3-bedroom or 4-bedroom. You'll be able to see everything so that when we make an offer, you have an educated offer.
Okay.
Okay, help you compare homes and make a decision, advise you on the terms and issues of an offer, and fill out your purchase order contract. Present your offer and negotiate it on your behalf. Coordinate and supervise the preparation of all closing documents and guide you through the closing process. I'm going to help you resolve any closing issues and coordinate your move-in and assist you with post-closing issues. So I'm agreeing that I'm going to have all of that done for you because that's my 10+ customer service agreement. What I expect from you is that you're honest in all things, that you're available to look at homes. You have to see them in order to buy them.
Sure.
That you let me know when you're out of town so that I can just schedule around that. If your wants, needs, or financial situations change, you let me know. If you want to see some new constructions, call me before you go into the models, as there's a good chance that I have either worked with the builder developer before or toured or sold their homes before and probably have knowledge on those homes.
Okay.
And you still want representation, and you still have the right for representation.
Okay.
If you see a for sale by owner, which is a FSBO in our world, you call me first with the street name and the telephone number so that there's a good chance I've already toured that home. Plus, you don't want to be walking into a home unrepresented.
No, yeah. No.
Okay. If you see an ad or a sign or information with interest, you call me so that I can provide you with the comparative market analysis on that property.
Okay.
You let me know if you plan to go to open houses so I can help you if you see anything that you'd like.
Okay.
Most of the time, we're going to see everything that you like, but if you did want to go to do some open house, I'll give you a stack of cards so you can go around so you can tell them that you are represented by an agent. You be as loyal to me as I am to you, and refer me to your friends and family and colleagues, and give me their names and telephone numbers as we start to build some trust here in this relationship.
Oh, okay. Give you their information.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Okay, so these are my expectations of you. Are you willing to initial all of those?
You want me to initial it?
Yeah, please.
Okay. This is kind of like when an athlete signs with their agent, huh?
That's right, because you're an athlete. Okay, so and here's my last form before we go look at some homes. This is an exclusive buyer agency agreement because we kind of committed here to each other that we're going to be treating each other as client and agent. So I'm fiduciary to you, and I want to make sure that your interests are first and foremost. So here I've already filled this out where your name is here. I work for this company. I'm licensed here. My name is here, and I'm going to be working for you as a buyer's agent and dual disclose agent if the opportunity arises. We discussed that. And that this term of agency will commence on today, and it will expire a year from today. And this just says that I work with you. Here it says that there's a brokerage fee. I'm going to waive this right now. Typically, we're going to get most of our properties from the MLS, the multiple listing service, and that's where the sellers are paying the commission anyway. If by chance we found a for sale by owner, I'm going to put right here on the side here, for sale by owner or off-market property, then there would be a 3% commission due. Now,
Yeah, let's stay away from those.
well,
An extra 3%.
well, it's not an extra 3%. I want you to think about this. Regardless, in some cases, the buyer paying is the seller paying. It's all negotiated into the price. So if we were able to find a property, we would just kind of work that 3% into the price, and I would negotiate that for you. But I do not work for free, so it would be something that we would have to work into the price, and I'm sure you can appreciate that. Okay, so I just need you to sign here so that we just agree that we're going to be working. If the buyer doesn't understand all, that we're going to be working together, and understand that if I'm not holding up my end, or if you're not holding up your end, this contract can be canceled.
Okay.
Okay, so
So we
just
can fire
sign.
each other.
We can fire each other. I don't see us doing that.
Okay.
All right, great. So let's get your stuff together. We're going to go look at some homes, and we'll be on our way.
Wow.
All right.
Great.